Lauren Chen drops a Lindsay Ellis video. Dude, fuck my life. Freaking Lauren Chen dropped a video an hour ago. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. Lindsay Ellis quits. Canceled by her own fans. The world we live in is pain and suffering. No, Clownfish, all the conservatives are making Lindsay Ellis videos. Pain. Pain, bro. Pain. It's all I'm experiencing right now. It's all I'm experiencing. Oh no, the Quartering is going to drop a video on it too, isn't he? Can you imagine Ben Shapiro? Oh no. It's all falling apart. Lindsay Ellis canceled by the woke mob. Here, let's see. I want to watch there's this video.
Been hearing about this Lindsay Ellis cancellation. It is interesting, but I think it actually kind of started not that long ago with these tweets about Soul, because this is a very weird take from someone like Lindsay. This is a very weird take from someone who I just don't quite understand, like, what in God's name she was thinking when she put these tweets out.
Okay, so we're recapping the original drama because I didn't keep up with the original drama. Once again, I didn't care much about Lindsay Ellis. I still don't. Not because I think that she's cringe or something, but because I don't know anything about Lindsay Ellis. She was never a part of my life. I never watched her content. Yeah, Sargon's gonna drop a video too. It's going to be, man, it's gonna be ass. It's gonna be terrible. This is me, like, the first time I've gone into this and like Lindsay Ellis's history. I know a lot of you guys, she means a lot to you, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry that she's gone. Finally got around to watching Soul, and woof, she's barking. My girl barking on Maine. Calm down, Lindsay. Woof. She's woofing on Maine. That ending. Yeah, I get it. It's an allegory, but the central does require romanticizing the souls of the unborn in the way that just doesn't make sense to me. Finally, a Pixar film for the pro-life crowd. Oof. Yeah. I mean, I guess I can see that reading of it. It does seem a little weird. It is just like a little kids movie. You know, there's like don't you think like it's a little, I mean, how many layers in are we? Isn't Soul, what was the movie Soul about? Was just like there are souls out there, like after you die, it's life affirming. Yeah, it's like, it was supposed to be like life affirming, like even if they aren't able to make it, they still have a soul and they're still like happy somewhere else. It was meant to be about enjoying your life and not wasting it. Yeah, I can imagine it was something along those lines. I never watched Soul. Once again, I don't watch movies. Fuck that shit. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think showing like an aborted like fetus or like a miscarriage, like having a soul like afterwards, I don't think that's like that bad. Now, what they do with it afterwards, that can be something. The point is a dude teaching another soul and himself how she can enjoy life. Okay, so she can be born. All right. The rules for the afterlife were a little wonky. Yeah, I can imagine. Tweeting this now because only thing I will ever say about this movie, yike. I'm sorry. Wait. I need to be careful about what I read. That feels like a slur. Like yikes, but without the S, it sounds like a slur.
I've seen Soul like about 10 times now because my kids love it. And at no point do I think that Lindsay understands what this movie was about. I just don't think she gets it.
There was no miscarriage? Wait, where did miscarriage come from? Then?
And that caused her a lot of ire with a lot of people on the right, especially the more of the conservative viewer base of Channel Awesome. But it did, really kind of build her up with people on the left. And she makes a lot of money on Patreon. So believe me, she might be getting canceled, but she's totally fine. She's not going anywhere on this one. But when you look at the
oh, how you were so wrong.
These tweets here. Joe did not give up his life for a miscarriage. 22 had never been born. 22 was never a miscarriage. 22 was afraid of living life. 22 was afraid of going out there and experiencing anything because she didn't find value in it. But when she...
True, 22. I feel you, baby girl. They got Twitter these days? I wouldn't want to be born either. I feel you.
Went to Earth and she took over Joe's body and she partook in the realistic experiences of life. That prompted her ultimately to want to go and experience it, which is why she felt so bad when she did give Joe what he had wanted, but then Joe felt bad and went back in order to make things right. Because the whole concept of soul is just like, be careful. Your time might be out before you know it. Your time might be out before anything else is going on. So on Friday, March 26th, Lindsay became the center of attention after she tweeted her thoughts on Raya and Avatar: The Last Airbender. In a now deleted tweet, she wrote, "Also watched Raya and the Last Dragon, and I think we need to come up with a name for this genre that is basically Avatar: The Last Airbender reduxes. It's like half of all YA fantasy published in the last few years anyway." Now, her tweet did receive some backlash, and in a bid to justify her statement, she made another one. She says, "I can see where if you squint, I was implying that all Asian-inspired properties are the same, especially if you were already privy to those conversations. I had not seen them, but the basic framework of the last Avatar is becoming popular in fantasy fiction outside of Asian-inspired stuff." Simplistic approach to it, right? It's a pretty simplistic. She's not saying anything here that's like too bad, but where we are right now, remember where we are right now. You really can't like say these kind of things right now because of what happened in Georgia. For some reason, she just says it at the wrong time they're going for. I think the soul stuff was like way worse. But people are just happy that she's gone. Sitting here, social media has been filled with mixed reactions. People are expressing their thoughts, and some have been trying to cancel her. One user wrote, "Glad Lindsay Ellis was finally canceled. Was a long time coming." Another added, "Lindsay Ellis getting canceled is good. Actually, I will die on this effing hill." And people have been trying to I've been seeing a lot of comments about it, people clapping, cheering this on. Some people who are even very much in the anti-cancel culture club, but they're looking at it as a bit of schadenfreude because someone like Lindsay wouldn't care if someone like them got canceled. You know what I mean? So there's a bit of hypocrisy here on their end. Posted about it on her Patreon. So she posted about this yesterday, saying, "I'm posting this here because I feel if I owe anyone an explanation, it's you guys. So with regard to the Twitter thing, needless to say, there's a lot of projection and assumption of why I did decide to delete it. But at the end of the day, I took this whole debacle as a sign that I really need to rethink my career, such as it were, because clearly this is not working. Twitter and social media in general have become such an incredible source of toxicity for culture in general and for me in particular. It was making me so unhappy, which is part of why I had been getting increasingly snippy and defensive in ways that were unnecessary and unprofessional. The people who are saying that this is a result of carelessness are right. I was careless. As for the question of why now, it wasn't that this controversy was the worst ever. It honestly was just the last straw, and not just for Twitter. I'm not sure what I'm going to do, how I should engage with content, or if I should continue making it at all. So I'm taking some time away from the internet to try to detox from it, and then we'll see what the state of things will be going forward."
This name is very
real. All right. So I didn't know that she was thinking about leaving when this happened. Who even is Lindsay Ellis? Lindsay Ellis, as far as I know, is a very old school, very old, as in, and not as in like her age, but as in like how long that she's been around. Commentary, media analysis, sort of like commentator, who makes video essays, basically, who is like at the forefront of reinventing the video essay in the like leftist video essay format that we have today. She basically pioneered it. What PewDiePie and Markiplier and Jacksepticeye are to let's play videos, she is to video essays, if you understand what I mean.
This is what you do with these woke skull types, okay? You quote tweet them, you get them mass reported off of Twitter. 99% of these people are breaking TOS. Usually they tend to it's very easy to goad them into saying kill yourself. Like the other day, there was a woke scold shit talking Lindsay Ellis and I said touch grass and she responded touch a live wire. So I quote tweeted her and reported her. And then today I got a notification that she got banned from Twitter. Get them banned off of Twitter. Get them banned.
I do love reporting people on Twitter, and I do think that you guys need to report people. Okay, so this is my PSA. Okay, report people on Twitter. Don't just sit here and go, man, it's so unfortunate that they said that. I can't believe that they said that. Report them. Reporting people is so fun. It is. It's like Christmas, bro, because Twitter rewards you. They give you little updates. They're like, hey, bud, we just got your report. And then I'm like, ooh, baby. And after I report a couple of people, a couple of days goes by. And then I open up my Twitter and I get a couple of notifications. And it's like, check up on these accounts that you reported. And it's like, got him, ding, bing bong, got him. And then you look up their ad again and it's like, account has been suspended. And you're like, oh, is it Christmas Day? Is it Christmas Day? Would you look at that? They're gone. It's so good. It's so good. Got 2 people banned as well. Please report people. These people are insane. Okay. They are insane. And the more that you're able to do that to them, the more that you're able to ban them, the less likely they are to go and pull shit like this. Okay. Yeah. I want you guys to be my secret police. Go out there, report them little shits. So I can see a criticism of this Lindsay Ellis tweet. The only criticism that I can really think of would be so was Raya the Last Dragon, was that produced by actual Asian people? or something or whatever, or like was, because the only thing that I can imagine would be like the producers of Raya. Not really. It was mostly white. Like the writer, producer, those people. Were they Asian? Was this like a specifically Asian story? 2 out of 8 of the writers were Asian. What the fuck is happening? What the fuck are people mad about? What the fuck is happening? This is the whitest shit I've seen. This is white on white violence. This is white on white violence. Oh my gosh. White people have been clubbing each other over the heads. Oh my goodness. What's happening? Oh my goodness. My geez. Late on that one. No, it's just like it's just like it really feels like a bunch of white people yelling at each other about like mostly non-existent racism, and while ignoring like actual racism. Like this is like such a non-issue while other like much bigger issues were going on, right? Because this was back in March. There were like some BLM marches that were happening. There were like some women's rights that were happening. We could talk about immigration or anything, but like some white person commenting about how a show loosely based on Asian cultures was copied by a movie loosely based on Asian cultures that were written by mostly white people. It's just like, what's going on, man? What's happening? Yeah, POV, you're on Twitter. And honestly, I think like most of the like people of color on Twitter, I think, all right, that they're fake. They're fake. I think the ones who like engage in this shit, I think a lot of them are fake. Okay. I think a lot of them were just like Google image black person, pick a stock photo, make that your shit. You pretend to be that race today. I don't know, man. Like it really feels like a lot of this is like kind of giga cringe, you know? And so this all culminated in Lindsay Ellis leaving YouTube, right? And so someone sent me the meme that she posted on her Patreon. They're a little bit jealous. They do have nothing else to, what was that old Vosh meme? They have nothing else to offer the world but their bitter scorn. That one. Old ass meme. But yeah, like 100%, they have nothing else to offer. So they dedicate their lives to tearing down other people who are actually doing things. Incredible. Yeah, here we go. This is what I was talking about. All right. This is the white people logging off of Black Twitter. POV suburban white teens logging off of Black Twitter. And this is what it is. Oh. Right there. Yeah, the farts and all. Did this get locked? That's so weird. Did she lock this? That's so strange. Was this supposed to be just, I don't know. Yes, she did. Why were people being, well, obviously people were being mean, but like, check the valid criticism and white nonsense on her video. That's the Raya thing. Okay, weird. But we do have this anyways. Lindsay Ellis cannot hide. Lindsay Ellis cannot hide her memes. This is going to be a YouTube video, but I don't have it in me to invite that kind of scrutiny, to be the last in a sick, sad line of YouTubers who are all weepy on camera and cry about how they just can't do this anymore. Big text, boomer text. Boo hoo hoo. I had planned to move video content to Nebula, but I realized now that doing that would just keep wounds wide open. My life ended 9 months ago, and what has been taking up bandwidth ever since has been a ghost. This is the part where people are like, is Lindsay like mentally okay? I think the answer is like obviously not, but at the same time, like, geez, this is like my life is over type shit. My life ended 9 months ago. Was it that bad? Oh, this is how she talks regularly? Oh, she's just like a really hyperbolic person? Okay. Well, bless you, Stinky. If you know, like, what hit her so hard, honestly, was this just like the last straw? Yeah, a little sneezy doggo. Was this like just the last straw? Was this like the straw that broke the camel's back, basically? She explains. I wanted to hear anybody else know before I read this goddamn 3.5 essay. All right, but whatever, I guess. It's almost funny how many people will insist that I have lost nothing, you know, because subscriber count. And then she talks about like subscribers not being the only metric for real success. Many will say I'm being melodramatic, that my life isn't over, that there was absolutely nothing stopping me from brushing myself off, building back up goodwill, and shutting up and playing the game. And I tried that. In a way, I suppose it's good that I did, because I needed to learn the hard way that was never going to work. There is no unfucking this. Once it is fucked, it cannot be unfucked. You can't find the energy if there's nothing left to convert to it. Okay? You can't be a better person if there's nothing but a hollow shell of one. Oh, okay. Oh, geez. A lot of trauma, specifically her essay was used against her. Oh, well, I guess that sounds like that'll do it. She was forced to talk about her essay, dragged into the mud for talking about her relationship with her sexuality and how everybody always treats every single thing she does like she's the literal devil. 2021 has been the worst year of my life. I am traumatized by it. To this day, I still have people scolding me about how I handled it, that I should have handled it differently, that I should have controlled my stands, as if I had the capability to know what any of these people were even saying to strangers on Twitter while I was shitting blood for weeks on end. Is this hyperbolic? Like shitting blood for weeks on end? Like, is this hyperbolic? Because if she was literally pooping blood, she needs to go to the doctor. From stress? That's from stress? That's insane. Oh my goodness. I get stressed out. She got stress ulcers? What the fuck? What the fuck? Now, here's the thing, okay? Here's the thing. I just want to talk about this a little bit, because like, her soupy was gloopy. You can stop that right now. Here's the thing. So this is really bad. And I know like her situation was also like really, really bad. That's possible with ulcers. Okay. I've never had stress ulcers personally. Lindsay was part of the drama against Contrapoints. Yeah, but like Contrapoints was part of the drama against Lindsay. Unless you're talking about Contrapoints like was dogpiling Lindsay and not just like used in the conversation against her. It takes quite a bit of stress. Okay. And age, probably age too. Like the older you get, I would imagine, like, because your body can break down with like a lot of stress. So yeah, they go after the same 4 women. Yeah, it's wacky how it's the women that they clamp down on so hard, huh? Really strange how that happens.
Part 7. You're next. What follows in campaigns like this is the other isolation tactic, targeting your colleagues, friends, and loved ones. This comes in 2 flavors, demanding that the colleagues of the accused answer for their crimes, or trying to deplatform said colleagues because you're already riding high off the previous victory, so who's next? Sarah Z is next. Jenny Nicholson is next. Contrapoints is next. Jenny in per-fucking-ticular. Jenny is next. Jenny, you're next. Jenny next. Jenny next. Jenny next. Both Jenny Nicholson and Contrapoints were trending at certain points during the weekend because of me. Fake screenshots of a racist tweet that Jenny never made spread like wildfire with the goal of getting her driven off of Twitter because of me. And a year and a half ago, the shoe was on the other foot because a lot of the same crowd was attacking Natalie. It must needs be remarked that a huge contingent of the people who have it out for me right now hate me for sticking by Natalie during the Angel Buck incident about 18 months ago. And if you want to know more about that, here's the thing. And it's really only now that I can make sense of it that I got so many hate follows after that people were so eager to screen cap anything and everything I said on Twitter, no matter how minor or petty, to create this narrative of me as a secret horrible person just because I stood up for my friend. And I don't regret doing it. I would do it again. But it is insane that I am paying such a high price for that now. And now my other colleagues are being targeted for no other reason than the crime of being friends with me, for not publicly denouncing me, for not validating their anger. And why? Jenny is one of the smartest, most insightful people I know. Sarah always floors me with how much research and nuance and sensitivity she brings to her topics, and she's only 22. Natalie is, well, she's a whore, but she's my whore. These obsessive
Oh, jeez. Oh my goodness.
Campaigns to try to push these narratives of my friends as bad people and secret TERFs and secret racists are just baffling to me. Global fascism is on the rise on a level we haven't.
I mean, Jenny? Oh, did I not say Jenny? Yeah, I don't know who Jenny Nicholson is, but she seems fine, I would imagine. I say Angel. Oh yeah, my bad. Sorry. Yeah, Jenny seems fine. I don't know anything about her.
Seen in more than a generation. Are there not enough out and proud racists that you feel you need to unmask the My Little Pony YouTuber? Jenny next, Jenny next, Jenny next. So do not give me this horseshit about accountability. This is obviously just entertainment to you. Just fucking own it. Obsessively chronicling every perceived misstep we've ever made that could be interpreted badly, all while completely ignoring the rest of our entire bodies of work. Why are you wasting so much energy on this? Because you can't impact people who are actually doing your community harm. You can't shame the shameless. Trump will never face justice. Brett Kavanaugh's on the Supreme Court for life. Ben Shapiro gets off on your outrage. So you shame those who can be shamed. And if you call one of us bigoted enough times, people will start to believe it, and then you can feel like you solved racism by spreading lies about a person you have never met and never will, and was doing you and your community no harm. Well done. Shabash. Good job. Fuck every single one of you. You do not deserve grace. You do not deserve sympathy.
This smile, ladies and gentlemen, is a smile that harbors the most amount of hate that a human can hold. All right. Some people think of like, most hateful or spiteful looks that someone can have being like a frown or like their face being twisted. Wrong. Yeah, white woman jump scare. It's this. This is it. This is it. It comes all the way back around to a smile. White chick movie energy. So for me, all right. So for me personally, I think one thing that I was going to talk about a little bit is that these spaces have never been good. These spaces have never been good. Okay, they're not like better on the right or anything. Just so you know, I know a lot of people think like, oh, the right are able to just do whatever, and the left isn't. Wrong. They aren't. This is literally white people problems. It's more content creator problems. And actually, it's more, no, it's not white people problems. As long as black people can be actors, actresses, public figures, and content creators, it is not white people problem. So these spaces have never been good. Like it's not better on you remember that whole thing with like Nick Fuentes and Ben Shapiro and Charlie Kirk like bashing each other and everything? Like it's not better on the right? They still have this sort of like infighting. We just kind of think it's funny when they do it, but it's not funny when we do it, which is true. It is funny when they do it, and it's not funny when we do it. That's true. The problem is really the problem is really that we need to do something about it. So there are ways to like mitigate it and everything, and like changing the community like slowly over time. But the thing is, like, the more people that you bring in, the more you're going to need to keep doing that and keep it up. And the second you stop is when things like kind of just all collapse in on itself, right? I don't know, like the space just being people think it's all like fun. All right. Being a content creator is not always fun. And I don't say that as in the, oh, everything is just so fun. Like, I'm sorry, but what your life can like turn into, how much people can like, who will never know you, who will like hate you forever for something that you said or did, or something that you never said nor did, is just like insane. How many people know you, but you'll never know them, and how much they'll hate you and you didn't even know that they existed, right? The amount of like contempt that they hold in their heart for you. That's not something that all at once, I don't think that's anything anyone can handle. You just have to interact with it in like much different ways, right? And thankfully a lot of social media platforms have allowed those sort of like tools to help people get around it. But when you're big enough and there are enough people who just don't like you, there is no getting away from it, and you will just kind of be crushed under it. And so there is no escape at that point. Can't really do anything about it. I don't know. I wonder what it would be like if I ever get there, because I get a decent amount of anxiety already when it comes to but what are you eating? Like his own foot. Boo! Quit. He has allergies, so he nibbles at his feet because he's allergic to grass. Yeah, he licks his feet. Yeah, he's allergic to grass. How do you manage dealing with legitimate criticism versus the haters? So for me, it's like whether or not I think that they're stupid. All right. So I'm a genuinely like pretty open person to like criticism and everything. Well, just about everything that I do. And obviously sometimes we say things that we disagree with, but for the most part, things that I say are things that I do agree with. And like, once again, like sometimes there are things that are a little hyperbolic or like a little like heated in the moment that I wouldn't like stand by if like pressed on it. But mostly I do believe like what I say there. And so I limit, for one, all criticism, which you probably should do for your own mental health. Because even good criticism, a lot of good criticism can like weigh down and make you think that you're not good enough, and will like hurt you in the long run as well, right? Your just mental state, you probably can't take it like that, right? You need some time to chill. And so I limit all criticism, put it through like a bottleneck, okay? So you can like filter it through. And when you get it filtered through, you just think about it for a second, you know? I just like think about it. Is that true? Could I really have done better here? Am I wrong? Or are they stupid? Am I wrong or are they stupid? And that's the scale I have to weigh. I have to like weigh criticism against. And so I could genuinely be wrong. And I like to think of it, if someone's coming to me with a genuine criticism, I could 100% be wrong. And so I take it in that way and think like, oh, maybe they got something on me here. But after I read it and I think and I ask other people and I do some like research and I think that they're wrong, I just categorize that as, you're just stupid. I appreciate I appreciate the criticism, and it could be like a difference of opinion and everything, but you're just wrong, or I'm going to keep doing this in this way because it is working and it's not bad from what I know. So that's just like me. And when it comes to just like useful, spiteful nonsense, I'm just like, fuck you, bitch. I don't care what you have to say. But for me, I become like a little bit more prideful. I become a little bit more prideful because everything I do on here, I take great pride in. Like the videos that I make, the thumbnails, the streams and everything, I take great pride in like just about everything that I do here. Yeah, I take great pride in like everything that I do here. And so with that being said, when you criticize it and you're wrong, I'm just like, fuck you. Like you're just dumb. You're just stupid. And it's fine to be stupid. We can't all always be smart. Like even the smartest among us will have stupid days and say stupid things. But like with that being said, like you are below me on this topic. You are not smart. You are ill-informed. You are below me, and I do not need to listen to you. And so that's how I handle it. It is not necessarily the healthiest or like the least toxic, because I'm a little bit of toxic. Like in my own head, I'm a little toxic. So there's that. That's just like how I think of it. But I think like, just take a second, think. Like the best thing is like argue with your own point is that I can do. Like if someone brings some criticism to me, I take it and I think about it, I chew it over and I try and debate it like with myself. Can I think of like an out here? Can I think of like how they could just, could I defend this point? Can I defend who I am and what I did against this criticism? And if I can, they're wrong. And if I can't, they're right. They're just right. I'm wrong. I'm in the wrong. It's good criticism. What can I do? I appreciate you having the wrong opinion. Well, the thing is, even if you have the wrong opinion, if there's someone who's like from the community and everything, and they genuinely enjoy the content and they genuinely want it to be better, there's no reason for me to like shit on them or anything. I don't want to shit on them. I don't want to shit on them. Like I appreciate it. Like keep thinking, keep going. Maybe one day they'll give me good criticism, because it's good to get criticism. You don't want to like never get any criticism. You'll never get any better then. But I like to debate shit for myself, and if I can't defend it, then it's probably right. I think of myself as like reasonably rational, or like reasonably like well thought out. So if like my positions that are what I believe are reasonably well thought out get like gigabapped, then and the opposite opinion on a lot of things in your pog. Yeah, Gappy's fine. I like Gappy. Like I like Gappy, but like what? Yeah, but it's just like, it's not that I think that you're a bad person. I just think that you're just wrong. You're just incorrect here, and it's cringe. But once again, I'm cringe sometimes, so that's the way it be.
Part 8, the beast.
All right, so this moves into like another section, but okay. Interesting. So we finished this off by saying she was pooping blood. The worst thing about the whole year is that I can't even admit the trauma because all of the rhetorical devices that people have already come up with to dismiss it. That censoring my own pain is evidence of me not listening. Does it occur to these people that you can listen and disagree with other people's? Wild people. I swear, people always say you're not listening, and they confuse you're not listening with you're not agreeing. All right. That I'm weaponizing my fragile white womanhood. White women be like, that's an RGR moment. Yeah, you're not listening. Yeah, Riley was literally using the term you're not listening for you're not agreeing with me. Right? Because she was already bought into the point that no one will disagree with me like once I talk to them about it. And so if they're disagreeing with me while I'm talking to them about it, then you aren't listening. Because if you were, then you'd be agreeing. Professor Flowers moment. I don't know. I haven't like watched too much of Professor Flowers, but I'm not like a big fan personally, but whatever, to point out that having thousands upon thousands of people who have never met you and hate you and say whatever will get them the most update about is in fact traumatizing. Yeah, I can imagine this is pretty traumatizing. I fear the day. I live in fear. Okay. Let me tell you, I personally, as a content creator, as an introverted person, as someone who doesn't, I really like, it's wild because I got into like being like a debate bro and everything, and I like being a debate bro, and I think like I'm reasonably well thought out, and I think like I'm reasonably good at debate. But at the same time, like, I fear the day like getting like Twitter mobbed or something. I really don't like it. I don't like that idea. I don't like confrontation. Like, I've never been a big person on like confrontation, or like, I guess to put it like better, I don't like confrontation like that aren't on my terms. Because I'm a very facetious person, so I'll like make fights, but I don't like. I know Shark is trending on Twitter again. I don't know, man. That would hurt. That would hurt me. That would hurt me. I'd be hurt personally. I'd be hurt. What I hope, like the best case scenario situation, is that like I'm just right, and people are like just kind of like really misunderstanding what I said, which sounds like a nightmare because I really hate being misunderstood. That's why I take like I go at length to explain myself, sometimes a little bit more than is needed, because I really hate being misunderstood. I really don't like it. That's why I'm a Sigma male personally. So I mean, I would hope like the best case scenario is that I'm just being misunderstood. And like when it comes to like, I can just talk to this person and then they can realize that they're wrong. Or like we can come to an agreement that isn't that I'm cringe, you know, that's the best case scenario. But you know, so I don't understand. So I can't like say what this feels like because I've had a lot of criticism thrown my way. But if I'm like really righteous, all right, because I don't know, I've like had arguments where people have like really disagreed with me on like, especially on Twitter, when it comes to the guns thing or the thing on like social workers replacing some cops in some situations. There I was like, I'm just right, you're fucking wrong. Okay. And so when people came at me, I'm just like, look at these dumbass motherfuckers. Look at these absolute goddamn buffoons. Look, they're below me. They're like literal they have the mental capacity of your average toddler. They try to come to me. They come to me and say that they disagree, where they probably can't even do the goddamn loop-de-loop and pull and tie their own fucking shoes. All right. Like that's what I think a little bit sometimes, but that's just me. Once again, I could be a little toxic. In my own head, at least. And a Shrigma male, I'm just not cool enough to be a Shrigma male. It's called understanding who you are. That people I used to know flagrantly lie about me on twitter.com to the tune of thousands of retweets and tens of thousands of likes. And I just had to sit there and take it. My favorite, these would be to dismiss the potential harm might have incurred in justifying myself that I am a wealthy white woman. I am not wealthy. While these same people's hearts positively bleed for Britney Spears. Nice. These people don't see how similar these talking points are to the same boomer bootstrap parenting style. Like believing victims, sure, I feel you. I retreat to the 2015 essay, hot allostatic load. A hot allostatic load. That sounds like something. Lindsay, this is Patreon, not the Pornhub search bar. For the first time in years last night, and I could not stop crying. Even reading some of these passages now, I cannot stop crying. This was written in the perspective of a trans femme and discusses some rhetorical devices used to demonize trans women specifically, which obviously does not apply to me, but some of this is spot on. One of the most common tools of exclusion through mobbing, which is rarely talked about because like, oh, geez. Because unlike sexual assault, murder, etc., is not easy to pin down a single person or scapegoat. Mobbing is emotional abuse practiced by a group of people, usually peers, over a period of time through methods such as gaslighting, rumor mongering, and ostracism. It's most documented in the workplace and academic environments. It is thoroughly institutionalized into feminist, queer, and radical spaces as well. Here's why. There's unusually strong power to damage the victim's relationship with society. The insidious nature of emotional abuse. How do you fight ostracism and rumors? Mobbing typically occurs in places where the victim is trapped by some need or obligation. Work, school, circle of friends, something like that. So here's where people were like upset, right? They were talking about Isabelle Fall. Who the fuck is Isabelle Fall? Oh, actually, wait a second. I think I looked this up earlier. Is Isabelle Fall the person who made the meme? Yeah, helicopter. Yeah, they made like a short story that was like, I sexually identify as an attack helicopter. Is that right? There was like a story called I sexually identify as an attack helicopter, and then people were like, what the fuck is wrong with you? In like the downfall of it, people were like, thought that it was written by like a Ben Shapiro type or something, but it wasn't. And then this person had to reveal that they were trans, right, when they weren't ready to. You are cringe. Counterpoint. No. Yeah, counterpoint. You're wrong. Even Hassan gets death threats. Yeah, they don't like Hassan. But also, yeah, they don't like Hassan. But Hassan is definitely not like a very non-controversial figure. I will say that much. I feel like Lindsay Ellis is like way less controversial than Housen Pecker, you know, especially after the 9/11 comment. Oh no. The Isabelle Fall case is almost a textbook example of how online mobbing harms people. You know, the people who participate. Like, wait a second. Just wrote a script for 25% of a video essay and then just copy pasted it to Patreon. I see it now. And not saying that that's necessarily a bad thing. I'm just saying that video essayists, they only have one mode, video essay. And how these people participate in these mobs never engage in any self-reflection. When some people read Fall's helicopter story and question the trans bona fides of the author in early 2020, Twitter did what Twitter does and ruined Fall's life. Death by a million cuts. No one single person beginning to question whether they did anything wrong or jumping to the worst possible faith interpretation of both the text and the author after a profile written by Emily Vanderwerf. Holy shit. Were lessons learned about the way we use the internet to tear down people we don't know because situations we don't understand? No. One of Fall's detractors, Neon Yang. Neon Yang? Is this future Andrew Yang? Holy shit. Andrew Yang from the future, Neon Yang. What the fuck? Became the new scapegoat du jour, using some of the exact same tactics used in the prior to attack Fall. Cyberpunk Andrew Yang, Neon Yang. And so a lot of people were criticizing her recently for comparing herself and her situation to Isabelle Fall. Is that right? Isabelle Fall? I do think people go a little gung-ho when it comes to you're white. So here's the thing, okay? I feel like a lot of people forget that not the only like form of like abuse someone can get is like institutional or systemic. We completely override like interpersonal, and I think pound for pound interpersonal hurts more than institutional discrimination, because like it can be like the institutional or systemic like thing can be like abstracted to an entire like group or a system that isn't like an individual, but like interpersonally, like person to person, that like one person doing that to you can be like so incredibly hurtful in a way that you just like kind of don't understand. And people forget that why people can feel this way 100%. Yeah, people got mad. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like people are just kind of want to get mad about everything, you know? And you can talk about how like a situation is analogous to yours without like saying you are the exact same. Because once again, like you can 100%. No, I think the severity of the situation, like no matter what, can be a little, you know, a little sussy baka. I think like comparing like just about anything that we're doing right now to like Auschwitz or Nazi Germany or something, besides like a lot of the stuff on the border, is like unanalogous and also really bad. It like devalues the suffering that those people went through, right? So obviously there's that. Like anti-vaxxers like to do this a lot, like to say that they feel like they're living in Nazi Germany. No, bitch, you're not. All right. But I don't think Isabelle Fall's situation is actually that much different than Lindsay's from the perspective of just the cancellation and the like mob, but not like the trans aspect, obviously. And I think, and like Lindsay said that here specifically as well. But yeah, it like hurts more interpersonally, or the people that you look up to or should look up to, or you think like would or should have your back, right? Yeah, I don't know, man. This just like kind of sucks, you know what I mean? I'm not going to touch Yang's original comments about Fall or pushback on them, but what's downright charming is a lack of self-awareness about that whole situation and the way people use Fall's trauma to hurt Yang. The way they invoke Fall being checked into a hospital while Yang said whatever about Fall in the helicopter story, and while having absolutely no idea what's going on in Yang's private life. All right. Hot allostatic load. Why did they have to call it hot allostatic load? Why'd they have to call it that? Something else was also inevitable. I was going to quit YouTube. I knew I couldn't do it forever, and I was running out of steam, and I was sick of the increasing dehumanization inherent and that I just didn't have anything to say about movies anymore. Oh, she's just kind of done. She's just kind of done. Yeah, like a lot of art projects, like a lot of what we do here is like an art project, and you're just sometimes you're just kind of done. You know, there's nothing else to continue. An artist has to stop painting one day. Sometimes you just get bored of painting. You just don't have anything to say about movies anymore. Don't have anything to paint anymore. I think now this isn't saying there's nothing more to be said about movies, right? Because you can, and people can go for like their entire lives and say new things all the time, like 100%, obviously. Because like times are changing, it can be like relevant for the time for when it was dropped, but for some people they only have a certain amount to say, and it just seemed like it was her time to go. The plan was always to end with Love Never Dies, since it seemed like the best place to end, with some semblance of energy rather than keeping it until it withered away into nothing. What happened to me in March, April hastened it, but this was always inevitable. My initial plan was to leave YouTube for Nebula, but I realize now that that's only entrenching myself into a more intimate form of harm rather than the broad buckshot. We're still talking about buck, I see. Kind that YouTube invites. I won't go into detail, not right now anyways, because I can't do a video content for them. I can't make content, period. I just can't do this anymore. There is no healing as long as there is attachment to the thing that makes you suffer, and the thing in this case is being in the public eye at all. All right. See? Well, at the same time, right? I feel like this is a little bit of just like the last straw, because how long has she been in the public eye? 10 years? Over 10 years, right? That's a very, very, very large portion of her life. If she's like 30 something, then that's like, she's been doing this for maybe like a third of her life or something, right? So in that case, I would say like, sometimes you're just kind of done. She seemed increasingly miserable with YouTube for the years too, so it's not surprising. She was with channel also in 2008 to 2014. What the fuck? Closing in on 20 years. All right. Good to know. Closing in on 20 years. You only do it for so long, Chief, until it all falls apart. First YouTube video was in 2007. I don't think mine was in like 2015. So with this, it seems like just getting away from doing anything in the public is just best for her. That's unfortunate, but hey, it'd be that way. Being in, like, I gotta tell you, like, everyone's kind of like, man, being a YouTuber is so pog, man. Being like a content creator is so freaking sick, and it is sick. It is fun. Like, you get to do what you want. You get to do what you love a lot of the times, but it is not without its suffering. What I wanted was to quietly disappear, but since there's a platform where people are paying me to make content, I feel like I have to make a statement. If it was just me by myself, I would just sign off and say goodbye, and that would be it. But I have a team that depends on me and my company for health insurance. Oh geez. Oh no, everybody who's a part of the team, they're losing their health insurance, including dependents that I supply full benefits for 8 people. For 8 people! Here in the US, employer-based insurance is often the only feasible option. Saying to everyone, sorry about your children, but they can't have insurance anymore because Twitter makes me sad, just doesn't seem like a fair deal. None of them incidentally know I'm posting this. Oh no, this is, oh geez. Oh, the repercussions of this is, oh my gosh, this is widespreading. It's not just affecting like one person and fans. So the only thing I can do now is keep this page active with the loose promise that someday I'll figure something out in the future to make up for this, while asking you to please stop messaging me and apologizing for not being able to subscribe more. You don't owe me anything. This Patreon is like my own life and career, just running on fumes. All I know is that being in the public eye is a losing game. Oh, this is it, right? It's a losing game. It always backfires. I regret every time I push back against something unjust. It just always gets used to hurt me. I regret every time I ever stood up for myself. I never did it correctly, in quotes. I regret every time I showed any vulnerability. Just more ammunition could be used against me later. I regret every time I ever tried to play the game with peers and colleagues. They will drop you the second you aren't popular on Twitter anymore. It's all hollow and brittle. If there's anything I can learn from this year, it's how imminently expendable I am. The good, progressive, cis straight, wealthy white men keep on trucking and coming out on top because deep down they know that the systems they profess to stand against ultimately exist to benefit them. And to all the people telling me I need to grow a thicker skin or remove myself from the conversation altogether, you are right. I don't have it in me to do the former, so I shall do the latter. Hope the new year is better than this. And that is it. That is the end of the Lindsay Ellis statement. That is the end. The good, progressive, cis white, wealthy white men will keep on trucking and coming out on top because deep down they know that the systems they profess to stand against ultimately exist to benefit them. Is what she's saying here? You know, is she saying that like they don't really fight against the system because it benefits them, or they will, if it's just like they will keep benefiting and coming out on top because the system benefits them? Like, yeah, but they can't do anything about that necessarily, in the sense that they just will. They can fight against it, but if you become a content creator and that's like most desirable, then you're going to come out on top. Yeah, what I'm wondering is if she's saying that it's performative. Because I read this like last part before stream, and this is the part that like confused me a little bit. But yeah, like all of these things do happen when you're like a content creator, right? Stand up for yourself, it backfires. Push back against someone, they use it to hurt you. Stand up for yourself, you don't do it right. Show vulnerability, and then they use it for ammunition. Yeah, you can ask Dylan about that, because Dylan talks about it a lot, how he came out as like
very real
gay, and then people used it. People always like use it against him, especially Mel like always uses that against him. Honestly, take the flag off your wall, Dylan. Minorities always get held to a higher standard no matter what. Yeah, like I can see that. Okay, it maybe it's just like the way that she wrote it.